everyone, once again I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And today Eric and I are going to chat a little bit more on my end about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Eric has not been on camera about this movie at all yet. So Eric, I'm going to kind of did how he felt about
with Jason. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Sure did. So I've already said my piece initially on this. I have loosened up a little bit on this movie. I didn't initially love it. Well, I still don't think I love it, but I liked it a lot more on a second viewing. I did go see it a second time. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor and then just fill in a little bit. So
okay.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you felt about Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we'll do some spoiler talk.
Okay. I liked it.
Cool. Well, now for spoilers.
I thought it was a lot of fun. It surprised me once, which I almost never get in at least a Marvel superhero movie. So that was nice.
I'm going to say it surprised me twice, but with the same character.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I thought there were missteps along the way, but it was a fun escapist adventure. I've said before, the first movie feels like Tim Allen's The Santa Claus for me. It feels very 90s. This also feels that way.
I think more so, really.
It feels like a continuation of that. I like it better than the first one. I think it is better than the first one. First one is very middle-of-the-road, basic Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I thought this was a little bit better, mostly because we weren't doing origin stuff. I thought the villain was kind of interesting. Both of the villains, all three, well, both the villains, two of the villains were interesting. The third one was Walton Goggins, who I like a lot, and I'm disappointed we wasted here. But it's a character that I think you needed a good character actor to elevate beyond anything.
Yeah, sure.
So like he's exactly who you cast. He was the bad guy in Tomb Raider.
Is that who that?
Yeah.
You know what? I knew I recognized him from something. Yeah.
He's the bad guy in Tomb Raider. No,
sure.
I like Walton Goggins a lot. I
loved him in Tomb Raider.
He's in a lot of things you've seen, I think, but he's just a character actor. I wish he'd gotten to do something bigger in the Marvel Universe, but also, this is literally what actors like this exist for, is to take a smaller role and make it, something you're excited to see, I guess. But he was fun. I actually thought he was really funny.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite parts of the movie. He's just interesting deliveries and things like that. If I have to do a best thing, worst thing, I will say the best thing is Scott's daughter. I just thought was adorable. Like, I don't usually like feel that. Like, I'm not usually like the guy that's like, oh, it's so cute, but like every time she was on screen, I was like, aw.
And they really have taken advantage of the fact that she's aged a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's really come into her own as a child actress.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the heart and the thematic crux of the piece, really.
Well, yeah, because the whole thing is father
really
and daughter
necessary.
stories layered on top of each other.
And also giving him permission to be Ant-Man.
Yeah. What's unfortunate, because the whole...
like the illegal and the like not immoral but bad things you have to do to be the good guy, which the first movie is about, but this one he's even more sympathetic in that, because the first movie he's doing things that like he should find another way, right? Like, he shouldn't steal stuff because he can't get a job, but that is like a really unfortunate place to be in, and there's something wrong going on with society that puts him in that place. But in this, he's squarely in the right whenever he's doing the bad thing, I think.
Yeah. Well, I like the twist that him and his buddies open a security company.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Did you see the picture I sent you of the X-Con hat?
Yeah.
It's really cool. The Disney Store has an X-Con hat right now.
Yeah, that's a good name.
It's great.
Like that.
Yeah.
No. Unfortunately, I think so. It's like these three layered father-daughter stories, like layered on top of each other.
Right.
The problem is, I think Scott and his daughter work really well. I think the villains work really well. The main one isn't a father-daughter story because it's not about them. It's about both of their love for the mom.
It's not even really a story, right? It's kind of just the crux to get the plot moving. Like they're, I don't know, they're very plot driven. Like,
well, it's like but when you're looking at the screenplay, right? Like, it's like they think that like we've got three parallel father-daughter stories, but that middle one isn't a father-daughter story.
On until we talked about, because I think that bit is actually kind of easy to miss, just because they feel like the plot thing to make the story happen, and I don't know that there's really is there really a character arc there at all for him?
For them? No,
I don't think there really is.
And it's weird because that's the one that feels like the whole story is hung around, right?
Yeah,
or
sure.
it should be. So
and the character arc for Scott, tell me if you agree with this, is just kind of coming into his own and learning that he's actually doing the right thing when he feels like he's not. Like, it's not he has to learn to change. It's that he has to learn that what he's doing is okay. Like, the risk he's taking is necessary.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I think that's what it is.
Least favorite, worst thing?
Yeah, sure.
Best thing, worst thing. Worst thing is far and away the terribly written, like, out of nowhere ticking clock for no reason. So if this is spoilers.
Yeah, let's just go right into that. Sure.
So apparently, if they hadn't found the way into the microverse immediately when they did, or was it a week, a day? What's the timeline? What's the ticking time? Is the day?
For what? For when she's gonna die, or what?
Yeah. Because they create this arbitrary number where they're like, you have this long to get her out, otherwise the quantum realm will, like, realign and we won't have another chance for another 100 years. And I'm like, that's absurd.
Well, it's also really convenient that that's about how long Ghost has to.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. But no, that felt so contrived. I was like, so wait.
That timetable is way too easy. Where, like, they just happened to build this time tunnel in the 2 years where, like, Ghost really is getting messed up and getting out of phase. Because they're building this technology. If they were a month later, if it took them one extra month to get the technology working, they would just never find her. Yep.
They would just never. That's really lazy writing. That is,
no, I think so too.
It's arbitrarily
it's like
creating
the comet
a
that only
ticking
passes
time.
every 50 years.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, but at least that's a comet. Like, I know how that works. like it's not like, I don't know.
I think it's even more contrived than that. The issue on top of that, because I completely agree with you, the issue on top of that I have with it is and I said this cryptically in the How We Felt About, they retroactively add in the thing at the end of Ant-Man that I was impressed with them for not doing, which is, he did find her in the quantum realm. Okay. Like, it would have been, I think, cooler if, and just felt less contrived if they had, it's too easy in Ant-Man if he goes into the quantum realm, the microverse. They can't call it the microverse, so it's the quantum realm. If this like insanely huge from that perspective realm of space and time, he runs into her. Like, there's not a really, unless I missed it, there's not a really good explanation for why they bump into each other. Like, is it just that, like, they're both people and they somehow are attracted to each other? You know, like, I don't know how it happens. It seems too easy. If you were gonna, like, I know I'm saying this retroactively. They didn't know if they were gonna get a sequel, but that's the obvious thing to do. You set that up then. You go ahead and have it happen there. There should be, like, an echo of her voice or something in that first movie. Like, they had to have had a sense that, I mean, pretty obviously, that if we made a sequel, at least something in it would be about going back and finding her. Now, I don't love that that's the whole movie. I think, I'll say this real quick. I think this is a really weird case that I don't see very often. That's the opposite of what I'm usually complaining about, which is execution over concept. I think this is a kind of bland idea that's executed really well. And I was really excited about Michelle Pfeiffer and really excited about finding Janet, and thought she was going to be, like, in the movie. I didn't think the whole movie we're going to try to find her, and then at the end, we find her. Did anybody think they weren't going to find her? Like, it made the stakes feel smaller than they meant them to. Like, I know that this is it's a family story and it's a smaller story, and that's fine. I'm not saying that it needed to be any bigger than it was. I'm just saying that, like, I didn't feel like very much was at stake. There was no fear that we weren't going to find her.
For me, the question was, what happens when we find her? What state is she in? What temperament is she in?
And then that's not interesting at all. Like, once we get there.
No, the problem is.
So if that's the thing that keeps you watching, that's got to be really disappointing by the end.
Oh, well, I was just like, oh, okay, it's a happy ending story, okay. Because I wasn't, like, desperate to know. Because I didn't care. I forgot that it was Michelle Pfeiffer until you told me. And you're like, oh yeah, it was Michelle Pfeiffer. They made this big deal about how they got her. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she was in that. Like I was watching Scott. Like, and that's
they had to beg her to be in it.
And I don't get that. Why? I mean, unless they have major plans
She's
for
a
third
great pick, but it could have been anybody.
Yeah. No, my
and that was their first choice. The director claims that is this dual directors? I don't even know who this is. Is it he? No, it is. But anyway, yeah, because is it Tim Story?
No,
no,
no, it's the guy who made the first one.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm thinking of some other movie. Anyway, but yeah, he says in an interview that they intentionally tried to put like a stand-in actress in the helmet in the first movie that in the face looked a little bit like Pfeiffer because that's who they were hoping to get, but they didn't know if they'd ever get her, and then they like convinced her to be in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, unless I guess they have big plans for the third one, but like, no, and I get that. I get that you were hyped and like you went in and you knew that they made
some
that
of
they
this is
so
bias
hard.
going in, like knowledge I had
yeah,
already.
I didn't have any of that. And I was like, okay, that's fun. Because I didn't really care about them getting her. I was like, what's going to happen to Scott? Is he going to get to be with his daughter? Like,
yeah,
those are my
sure.
stakes.
No, that's fair.
I don't care about any of that. The problem potentially moving forward is she's now seemingly like godlike. Like she can control matter. Like theoretically, she could be like Dr. Manhattan.
She's pretty powerful.
You would think she'd be real important. And at the very least, you'd think she'd be able to stop herself from being like...
Is she that powerful, or is she only able to control things that were connected to...
the quantum realm?
The quantum realm.
But...
I'm not sure.
The quantum realm is miniature physics. If you can control that, you control everything.
I don't
right?
We do not have enough information to say that.
I also want to know where she got her, like... I've been lost in a desert for 50 years outfit. Like, she has her costume.
Yeah.
And she also has, like, a turban and, like... cape.
It was fun that she had like part of one wing left, and
yeah,
like it was a cool look. But yeah, I don't know anything with that. I don't know how she's eating. I don't know how she's alive.
She seemed really powerful, and I was like, well,
and I don't know how you wouldn't go insane. 30 years.
Yeah, well, and we talked about this before the movie was announced.
I don't think I'm asking for too much realism asking that question.
I don't either, and it would be easy to get around if she was young.
Because it's
if
easy
she
to
hasn't
say.
aged that much. It's like
yes, exactly.
Because when you look at her, you go, okay, so the same amount of time passed for her as passed for us. Because you could do any explanation where you're like, wow, is a tiny space only like a
and as
year
much
passed.
as I love the Pfeiffer casting, isn't that more interesting if she comes back and she's the same age as they are and she thinks it's 1989?
It is if you know you're getting a third movie.
Isn't that way more interesting? Even if they don't make another one, that
she also doesn't seem unplugged at all, right?
It's
like she's completely aware of everything that's happened and what's going on, right? Like.
I don't know about that.
She doesn't seem disoriented at all.
We don't get enough time with her, though.
Yeah.
I mean, no, she's not disoriented, certainly, but I don't know if she knows what's been going on. I don't know if she gets modern technology and whatever, but...
If nothing else, and this is not a reason to cast someone, I think the reason that you get someone like Michelle Pfeiffer is that when she's inhabiting Scott's body, you know all of her tics, and he's doing those really well.
Well, I was going to say...
It feels like her.
His performance all the way through is really, really solid.
I agree.
I mean, better than all. It's great.
Yeah.
And he's wonderfully endearing, and he really carries that piece. And he's just so much fun.
And they did the opposite of what almost every other movie does, right? Where like his posse, his group of guys, usually you dial those guys up to 11, right? It's like, oh, you liked those guys? Guess what? The whole trailer's going to be those guys.
They kind of did it with Luis, but I still liked him.
I still don't feel like is he in it more than the first one?
I think he is. Okay. I think he is. I mean, I didn't clock it. But he seemed to get more screen time to me, and over those guys. Now he got more screen time in the first movie than they did too. I mean, he's kind of the leader of them. But
he didn't feel like Frank the dog and Men in Black 2, right?
Right. No, he wasn't obnoxious.
And that's what you would expect.
Yeah. No, you absolutely would. I could see some people who don't like him. Like perceiving it that way.
Sure.
But I didn't have it.
I didn't have that. And we both liked him.
He had a couple of jokes, I don't remember right off what they were, that I didn't think were that funny, but by and large, things landed pretty well.
You did not like the running joke of the truth serum because...
I didn't. That's a minor, silly quibble. If you haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that works just fine.
Which it did for me. I was like, oh, this is the joke that Cap said.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even want to bring that up again, because it's not a big deal.
Okay.
But that was, and it was less of a big deal the second time, I guess, just because I, saw it coming. Knew it was there. But I don't know. More of it was funny on a second viewing for whatever reason. I mean, like sometimes you make an adjustment, I guess, and so like
I think the day you saw it, there was like a weird thing. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't.
Because we didn't see it together. This was not a movie we ended up seeing together.
And I think I maybe said this in how we felt about. I also don't think I was just in the right mood for that kind of movie the day I saw it the first time around. And you have to take like all of the various elements of a movie-going experience into account when you see all the variables, right? But I don't know. With a little bit of hindsight, like I like it more, but I still feel like it's really it still feels pretty throwaway to me. But like which isn't even really a problem. It's that kind of movie. It's just I feel like the central idea could have been a little stronger. And I feel like it's going to kind of overstay its welcome into a third movie if it doesn't either ramp up the character stuff or get a little bit more creative with its pseudoscience and stuff.
I think the biggest issue is, well, one, that they got robbed of Giant Man, and two,
sure, yeah, absolutely.
I think the first movie.
Eric's talking about the fact that they didn't get to do Giant Man first,
yeah.
And that is something that the director complained about, and was really glad that they at least got to debut Wasp in their movie because she was almost in Civil War.
Yeah, but like that would have been like a big new thing. I think they do some cool things, but it is very clear to me watching this movie that the majority of the really cool stuff done with the Ant-Man technology was Edgar Wright. Like, he had a vision for that, and they were building off that skeleton, and then when they had to work on their own...
They do a lot of fun comedic stuff with it, but it feels like that third act all the way through.
Yeah, I need more
movie.
Creativity with the growing and the shrinking, and I want that... Not like... I don't want to say like Kung Fu movie.
I thought a lot of that was really fun. I was glad that... I really enjoyed the giant ants.
Yeah,
all of that was cool.
I want more kinetic stuff. I want the fight where, like, you go with a guy, you shrink down, come up behind him, hit him. Like, we had a little bit of that in the first movie, and I want to have more fun with that.
Yeah,
the actual making things grow giant,
they were more into, like, the growing and shrinking of different things, right?
Yeah, and that's just
oh my goodness, I just had a thought. Tell me
yeah.
if I'm wrong about this. We need to know how limited their supply of growing and shrinky discs are, right? Because if they use the new regulator as too much of a crotch,
yes, and that didn't work as much as I think it is.
I don't love that. Where Ant-Man keeps trying to shrink or get bigger, and the new regulator doesn't work right. Why not just throw one of those discs at him?
And make him shrink or grow. Maybe there's one with the suit that.
Or can we not do that with people? Do we only do it with?
We do that. We never throw that at like a biological person.
But that's how we got out of the quantum realm in the first movie. We put one of those in the regulator and pressed the button.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I guess.
Right? Isn't that how we did that?
And it's also how you're shrinking cars, right?
Yeah.
With people inside
with people inside them. So you are doing it with organic material.
Unless it's the T-1000 thing. Where it's like, well, if it's got like a layer around it, it doesn't really count.
Or if the issue is
like reverse Terminator.
Like if something is, this is gonna sound funny, but if something is like half the size it's supposed to be, and then you throw that on it, it's not like time and a half what it's supposed to be, and then it's hard to get it to the original size that it was originally supposed to be. But like at some point that regulator is gonna work. You're using that suit and not really worried that it might like stop working entirely or anything. That seems like a thing you would want to monkey with. That was one of the issues I had with it.
Well,
I was
just
like,
keep shrinking.
Isn't that really
keep growing?
Yeah, isn't that really dangerous? Like, if the regulator is too screwed up, wouldn't you wind up in the quantum realm, which is a place you don't want to be? Like,
yeah, but it's like it gets away with that to some extent because it's like kids' movies.
It's just a conceit.
My biggest issue is,
and I get that, and I'm probably going too far.
My biggest issue is one, I didn't think enough of it was funny. It wasn't worth enough of it, but also, it's that thing of. It's broken, which means it works when we want it to work, and it doesn't work when we don't want it to work.
That's exactly right, yeah. Yep.
It's just...
That's the biggest problem with it, is just when the script
because
says,
it doesn't add
works.
stakes to anything, right? Like, it's only used comedically, so when it doesn't work, there's no threat, And anytime there might be danger, it works.
Yeah, it doesn't work dramatically.
Yeah.
But I do think maybe the whole he's the size of a kid in the school scene was worth it. And like again, I didn't think it was as funny the first time as I did the second time. That whole thing is worth it for the string cheese and a juice box line. That's really funny. But do you have those things?
I did really like.
And all the stuff about how much Scott is like a man child.
Yeah.
And why he kind of needs to be the kind of superhero he is. I kind of like that. I like that at the end of the day he's almost vindicated for his like childlike kind of way of looking at the world.
I thought all the little kid stuff was funny. But then, when he gets in the car, and Hank has whatever line he has, where he's like, how was school today? Because that's just not a jokey character. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it really... I mean,
that's in that line. And then that's when he asks him if he wants string cheese and a juice box. No, it's great. Real quick final thoughts.
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I will probably never watch it again. Which is basically my thoughts on the first one, except I like this one a little bit better.
Well, and we didn't really talk very much at all about Goliath and Ghost.
The reason to do a third movie is to give me giant Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne, yeah.
I was robbed of giant Lawrence Fishburne.
At first, I kind of wondered why it needed to be him. Like I thought, even with the reveal and we knew that he was with the bad guy, I still kept feeling like he was a little bit wasted in the role. And then by the end, when he decides to go with her, I thought he was great.
And I feel like that one scene, there was like this moment of brilliance writing. I feel like I've seen that scene 100 times. Where it's like, no, you go, I will stay. And they're like, you're right. Like, and then they go. Like, how often do they actually stay with them in that scene?
Yeah.
I really like that scene.
No, I liked that a lot, and I liked that he had a line and he was really sympathetic. And that's not a thing I've seen a whole lot before, where he is. Like he's a real minor hero, but he's a hero in the comics, right?
Yeah.
And in this, we made him like a bad guy and a hero simultaneously.
He's
and
temporary.
It totally worked. I really liked that. And she seemed pretty crypto-freaky to me.
And she is nothing like the character.
She's a pretty standard. Her motivation is supposed to be sympathetic because she's dying. And so we care about her, but what I was going to say is she is sorry, I don't know what I was going to say.
Sorry, I didn't even know.
That's fine.
Sorry. No, it's not important.
I just don't even remember where I was going. So
sorry. You were talking about him,
but
staying with her.
Yeah, she I think I liked her more because of him. Like even where all that ended up going by the end, I thought was pretty typical. Even though she's sympathetic enough, it's just a thing I feel like I've seen a lot, and it's a thing I've seen a lot on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it does feel like a TV villain.
She seems like kind of a TV villain, but at least I understand what she wants, and like less is more sometimes when your last villain was just kind of all over the place and nothing.
Well, and I thought it helped that like it wasn't just like something I couldn't wrap my mind around. They're like, she phases, and how awful is that? Like, we root it in that it always hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the mistake we make a lot of times is, how awful is it to just always be going through things sometimes?
No, that's a really good point. And
you know how we all accidentally go through things sometimes?
Yeah, well, and I like that, you're right, it is kind of a loss of humanity thing, because she's, like, physically becoming a ghost, so that's cool.
But that's almost existential. Like, I can't put my head in that spot. I can put my head in the spot of it just always hurts.
And I'm not saying that Yellow Jacket didn't have a motivation at all. He just seemed like a really two-dimensional, typical villain.
He just goes crazy at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, he's not great, but like he makes sense for the first 2/3 of that movie.
Yeah, but he's never compelling.
No.
And she was compelling enough.
Not a good actor.
But a lot more so because of the father-daughter type story that we had with her, I think.
No, she works a lot better once you get him there too, and you're like, okay, there's a thing.
And her look is cool, and I also appreciate the fact that it's a technology that's related, but she's not just another bad Ant-Man.
Yes, I also really like that because it feels like they were building an Ant-Man mythology. Like, oh, we can do a couple of things that are all related to the Ant-Man thing, but don't have to exactly be Ant-Man.
Oh, the last thing we should mention real quick is...
And I also thought they would just throw quantum in front of everything.
Yeah, the quantum in front of everything. How do you feel about the time tunnel and how it's pretty obviously going to be used for the next Avengers movie?
Yeah.
like...
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I said earlier, like, I don't... Or later. I don't, I don't...
We're shooting some things out of sequence.
I don't like that we're using time travel to undo... Or that it seems like we're using time travel to undo Infinity War. That feels lazy. It feels like it has no consequences, and it makes that movie feel pointless.
I mean, we'll see
if
how
we're
it's
just
actually used,
if we're
but
just
yeah.
going back and undoing it, that's awful.
And that's pretty much exactly what I was afraid they were going to do.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
We'll see. But it doesn't immediately.
Well, let's
get
call
me
it like
excited.
Avengers. Let's do the time warp.
Well, that's hilarious. If the reason they're not telling us that title yet is because it's absolutely preposterous, that's fine.
I never considered that the title will have time travel, and that's what they're trying to keep secret.
I hadn't either until you just said that.
Yeah.
I guess that's possible.
I will accept that. If time is in the title, and we're like, oh, not because we won't be like, oh, because we're all speculating, that is enough to, I think, keep that title secret.
It wouldn't be a good idea to tell us that, especially when we had gone into Infinity War. You don't want to know that.
Yeah, no, that would be fair.
Do you think if that's true, that either with the word time or instead of it, we could end up with the word paradox? Because I can totally see that. I can totally see the word paradox in there.
What if because they're going backwards, it's called Avengers Superhero Rewind?
Oh no! Then when I have to review that movie, it'll be Avengers Superhero Rewind, Superhero Rewind.
And there will be so many
Or
people.
Superhero Rewind, Avengers Superhero Rewind.
And there'll be so many people. You'll get a lot more hits
It's like a
on your
word
videos,
palindrome
but they will
almost.
be angry videos.
Or
Or
angry
there'll be
comments.
angry people that will be like, this isn't about Avengers, it's Superhero Rewind.
I better make sure that of all the Superhero Rewinds, that's the one that is not the same length as the film. Gotta be really careful about that because everybody is gonna think I just uploaded it.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, thanks a lot for listening to our Spoilercast on Ant-Man and the Wasp. Leave your comments and let us know what you thought of the film. And in the meantime, if you are watching the Omnibus and the playlist, we're gonna move on right now to another Spoilercast. This time a Primetime Crisis Spoilercast for Luke Cage Season 2. So join us for that, won't you? If you watched that show, maybe wait until you've seen the show if you haven't done that yet. But if you have, mosey on along with us. And everybody else, thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
We'll see you again soon.